let's head to some racing, and it's kind of warming up, Liam. The spring, there's some good horses trialling during the week. I'm starting to get excited.
Oh, I bet you are, Tommy, the trial perv himself.
Yes.
From way back. We finally started to see a little bit of black type coming down to Melbourne as well. So first Group 3 so far, which is exciting. See these high quality horses, and it does coincide right with a few of, like, if you're a Carlton fan or you're an Essendon fan, you're starting to lose a bit of interest in the season. Finally, you got some great horses coming back and pick up your interest there as well. So it's a great time to be excited. And then your trialers are going to be coming to the races soon, and they're the ones we're going to be looking out for. And this is when people do really tune in for you, Tommy. This is when you'll be showing your wares.
You can follow the trial files as well in the app to get some late mail from the trial files of the Betfair app as well. So, yeah, we saw Tom Kitten back, Via Sistina, Fangirl, and the group trials are Dozy were fantastic. Tom Kitten was very nice there. And trial 2 at Randwick Kensington, we saw Aliana ran last, but I thought she was very good. You love that horse, Liam. So.
Oh, I never got on the right side of her in the end. I got a few decent place collects at a big price, but she was just too short and too dominant towards the end of her prep. And looking forward to seeing how well she comes back.
Caulfield Cup for Aliana, you ready?
I think so. I think Waller's got enough fillies that Aliana will go to the Caulfield Cup, and I think we spoke about her a couple of weeks ago that she's a very promising filly.
She's up early time to be trialling. So she had a soft trial, but I love what she did late there. We saw Woderton, Manal, Bayvocht, Autumn Glow as well in the morning. So it's a very exciting time. And as you mentioned, we got the Group 3 Bletchingly Stakes at Caulfield. A bit of rain around, Liam, which I reckon the fence might be off. They might be getting off the fence if it does rain throughout the day. How do you see the track?
Yeah, that's exactly how I've taken the meeting, expecting them to get off the track late, and you wouldn't want to be ducking back towards the rail to try and find your runs. Just with a bit of rain around Friday night and then into Saturday. +4 the entire 2 to 10 mil Saturday, and a bit of wind around coming from the northeast as well, which we'll touch on.
I'm going to throw to Trent here because you and I might have a bit of an argument here after Trent goes. So, Trent, what have you got for us in the Bletchingly?
Yeah, well, obviously Barrakill was the starting point in the race because he's clearly the best horse in the race. He's rated far better than these. He won the Group 2 McEwen Stakes at Moonee Valley well, and then did a suspensory issue in that race at Cranbourne. So I thought he's jumped out quite well. To be honest, I'm surprised he's back this soon, but they've managed to get him back and up and going. But if you're looking around him, which I think you can off this issue, the stable's been pretty open that he may need the run. I think there's a bit of value, and I thought
so. They've said that.
They've said that he's definitely going to take improvement. You don't want to be rushing them off this kind of thing.
And he's always going to have bigger fish to fry as well.
Yeah.
I was intrigued by the 1,200 metre starting point.
They also said that 11 would have been better, but this race they couldn't get him earlier to the John Monash, and if it was this race, or you're waiting for later. So
yep, very interesting.
And also drawn barrier 1, if we're thinking that may not be the place to be. That's interesting. So the main race, as I touched on there, the John Monash was the main lead up, and of the ones that come through that, I thought New York Luster was, she finished second there behind In Flight. In Flight's not here, and I thought of those horses, New York Luster probably has the most improvement to come. Yep. She was first up. I don't think she had a jump out or anything either leading into that, and she's probably the one with more upside as well. She's only had the 9 starts. Compared to some of these others that have been around for a little bit longer. So I thought if you're taking on Barrakill, she's definitely the horse to beat there otherwise. And the other one I thought that could run a cheeky race, and you're getting north of 20 to 1 here, is Apache Song for Blake Shin. Another one drawn inside, but it's not the biggest issue when you're taking 23 to 1 or whatever it is. Put up a couple of decent ratings last start. She raced throughout kind of Moonee Valley season. She won one by 4.5. She ended up running in the one of those Group 2 races behind Schwartz and Stapati, stuck on well there, put up a decent rating, and then probably just end of prep towards the end of the prep there. So I thought that she had jumped out quite well. You get Blake Shin on from a low draw, and she one that just kind of went through the grades a little bit last time in and sets up well here from the draw. So she'll be on speed, and I thought she could run a cheeky race as well.
Very tricky Group 3 feature, Liam. You are with kind of the naught on the roulette, almost. The X factor here down the bottom, Brighter Waltz.
The naught on the roulette. Jeez, I don't like being told I'm on the green numbers.
I love the green.
He's a sicko. He's a sicko. That's in the bin.
But I'm with Trent here in sense of keen to take Barrakill on, and great to hear that there's going to be a lot more improvement to come for that horse, because I just think sets up so poorly for him. You got Recommendation and Apache Song likely to push to the front. Brighter Waltz and New York Cluster, the next pair. They take up that first foursome pretty easily. Barrakill, barrier 1 is going to be 3 back the rail on a day when we're assuming that it's going to be pretty tough to make ground on the inside. So just as the starting point being a $3.20 favourite, really keen to take that on there. And then Bridal Waltz is a lone 3-year-old of this field, coming off her best ever career figure last start, and she beat that Boom Horse. She's an artist, and I think a lot of people will say, "Oh, that was a big fluke." But if you go back to her last 1,200 meter run, she was only half a length shy of that from a rating standpoint. So 1,200 meters really seems to be a sweet spot for her, and I think going around the bend is only going to be even better. So I'm pretty keen to back Bridal Waltz at around about the $6 mark early. I think it's a really good price.
Very tricky race. I wanted to be hard against Barry Kill for all the reasons we've outlined, but I just kept coming back to him in a sense that he's clearly the best horse in the race. His figures are that good, and nothing is really standing out from the others in the race. I mean, New York Luster, I agree, Trent's probably the one from the Sir John Monash I like. I can't come into Bridal Waltz, Liam. I'm against you here. Now, she's, like I said, she's a complete X factor in the race. She brings different form. A few of these are intertwined, but she's a filly with a handicap. I know she'll be a 4-year-old in a week or so, but she's a 3-year-old filly with a handicap rating of 84. She gets half a kilo off Kin, who is 16 handicap ratings higher than her at 100. She's also coming off straight form, which isn't great. She hasn't beaten anything outside of what she did last start, and I'm not sure that favourite and Boom Horse was ridden well, or a 1,200 metre horse. So, yeah, she was a 76 rater before that. And so I don't think she's well off at the weights, off one spike rating as well. So I don't want to be with Bridal Waltz. I found it very tricky, Bletchingly Stakes. Anything else to add?
I'd be against Bridal Waltz as well. I think she's 2 lengths off what the John Monash rated.
There you go. Trent and us, Liam and us going head to head there.
Getting up on you.
Yeah, you don't know how quickly I'll be messaging that group.
He's got it pre-typed out already.
Love it. Now, Trent, you are keen to play in race 6 here. It's a pretty tough day. Liam, have you got anything else at Caulfield, or just
straight to Trent here?
Let Trent talk about race 6 here, mate.
Yeah, so it's an 1,100 metre 3-year-old handicap race, and a few of these have been racing against each other a fair bit, and they're putting up solid numbers, but nothing that I think is unreasonable for something to jump. And I think that horse is number 4, Mystic Rain, for the Graham Begg yard, and that's already a tick in your box for Graham Begg, especially with these lightly raced fillies that he just handles so well and tips out at the exact right point to bring them back and bring them back even better. So she's unbeaten in 3 starts. I really liked what she did with her ratings progression. She improved 8 pounds actually, both between her first and second and third run. She won a similar kind of race at Flemington down the straight in March earlier this year, and led throughout. She led throughout at all 3 starts. Put up a decent rating there, like I said, and I just think she's going to be improving again with that prep under the belt. So I think that the rating that she ran at Flemington before the spell puts her pretty much in the finish here. She's got to carry a little bit of weight as a filly. She's got to carry the 58 kilos, but yeah, I think you're taking that rating and you're adding a little bit more with the prep under the spell, and Graham Begg's kind of getting more out of her this time in. So she's drawn wide. Not going to be an issue. She's very quick. I think she'll roll straight to the front, and she can stay off the fence if that's the place to be as well. Had a bit of support early. I think she opened double figures around the 750 mark now. I think that's a really good bet. I think she should be favourite.
Love that. Fantastic. Now, we're going to throw to a bit of an ad break. We'll come back with Randwick and a list. So we'll come back with all sorts of racing from Randwick. We've got a few tips and some horses to look out for the spring from Trent. To look forward to that. We'll be back in a second. Hello, Betfair punters. We're excited to introduce a new feature on the Betfair app, Follow Tipsters. This feature will allow you to follow your favourite Betfair experts and receive notifications when their betting strategies go live. By clicking follow and enabling notifications, you'll never miss a tip from pros like Terry Layton, Mitch Lewis, Jackson Oldham and Bella Anderson. All exclusive in the Betfair app, so download and get started. Racing Rant's late mail is now exclusive to the Betfair app, providing form, ratings and mounting yard insights every Wednesday and Saturday at tracks around New South Wales and Sydney. To access their tips, open the Betfair app, tap Expert Tips on the homepage, find Racing Rant and hit follow. Don't forget to enable notifications so that you receive their latest insights straight to your phone. For more information, click in the description below and follow the prompts. Liam, they were on fire on Wednesday. They hit 4 out of the first 6 winners on Wednesday. So they're flying. Follow them. They're great. Glenn Pollard, Mark Lambourne doing great things.
Yeah, we've had a lot of luck with our experts of recent time.
Haven't
luck or skill, one of the
They're
two.
skill. We want our followers to win. That's the good part of a Betfair as well.
Yes, that is the thing. So 2 from 2 first week, 4 from 4 second week, and then the boys in the Inter-Dominion last week was sensational as well. I think if you look at some of the BSPs as well, this obviously listening to us on Thursdays and Fridays helps to get those early prices, but they backed the winner of the first at $2.30 with us, ended up SPing $1.40. The last race, Stormzy, was $1.80, and they said it'll start 2s on. Started $1.16. So there were some massive moves there in the Inter-Dominion.
Did you jump early?
Yeah, but I went on another one of theirs in race 4 that got chinned, and I was greedy, so I went for them all together. But they were fantastic with us last week, and we look forward to a couple more joining us next week.
Speaking of winners, let's continue the show with Randwick. Again, some rain around on the day, Trent. Interesting rail position. So 11 metres from the 1,000 metres to the winning post and 8 metres for the remainder. When you get to 8 metres, I love the 7 or 8 metre rails at Randwick. It does play really leaderish. Lucky Lane 8 at Randwick, I find, is very up and in. But with the 11 metre rail from the 1,000 metres to the winning post, they can get off the fence in the northerly as well. It might suit those off fence as well. So it'll be interesting to see how the track plays, Trent.
Well, all that sounds like to me is it's all going to balance itself out, and it should be pretty fair.
That's what I'm hoping.
I'm happy with that, and I'll let it go through to the keeper and just find the horses that I want to find.
We'll see how we go. And we do want to find a horse in race 1, Liam. Trent doesn't. But this is going to be an interesting conversation.
Yeah, that's all right. Trent can be wrong once in a while. There's no problem with that.
Fair enough.
This filly Nazwa will absolutely brain these. She was sensational on debut a fortnight ago,
wasn't she?
She was fast early, which I love. So she's got that tactical versatility to go forward. She was solid through the middle stages and then exploded away from them late. It's everything you want to see in a 2-year-old filly. Love to see that. Of course, there's always going to be something at $2.20 where you go, nah, I need to see it again. Is that just a blip on the radar? But 1 from 1, I absolutely love that. They opened up $3 early. It's already into $2.20.
I wish I got $3.
Yeah, I think she'll be starting in the red, this horse. Really hoping we don't get a heavy track. So that'll be the caveat on this.
Yep.
But I don't think we will. And what was fantastic to see there as well was she was just kidded too late. She wasn't even asked for an effort, and she bolted away from them and has the ratings on all of these. I know that ratings aren't everything in 2-year-old racing, of course, but geez, you can't do that unless you've got serious talent. So I'm looking forward to seeing Nazwa back at the races. Race 1, Randwick on Saturday.
I agree. Race 1, number 7. Now, what is Trent going to pick a hole in? He's got it as a lay in the run sheet here. What possibly could he say that's going to change our minds or put this horse in doubt? No, I'm going to throw to you, Liam.
Oh, mate.
I want you what?
Pick apart
it has to be just a lack of exposure. And then, there's a couple of reasonable horses coming back from spring, from the autumn, mind you. Like Open Secret ran a couple of nice races there and didn't have much luck. Yeah. I was a big fan of Open Secret during the autumn, but and Shaggy, of course, had that peak rating and then went into a listed race or a group race as a pretty short favourite. But none of them have put up anywhere near Nazwa's race. So I'll be interested to see what do you got for us?
I reckon it's going to be pressure and speed and map related. Trent, come on. Why could you possibly lay this horse?
Well, neither of you know me particularly well then, because I don't care about pressure or maps or I don't care about maps. I don't care about exposure. I just look at the numbers, and the numbers to me, I liked what she did on debut. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was a very nice win. She's run a rating and a time figure of 90 with Racing and Sports, and that is good going for a 2-year-old at Gosford.
Now, knowing you as I do, there's got to be a big fat plus on the back of that because of how soft that she was late.
There's not a plus on it so
He's
much.
read the data wrong.
There's not a plus on it so much as that there's room for improvement. The plus generally signifies that they could have gone better sectionally, but she led it, and she ran it at a good clip. So she's not necessarily saying, oh, she's flashed home and she could have gone a lot better off the sectionals.
More slow early and sprint home. Is that
often what it is? Often what it is. But there's what we would put next to it is a P, and it says improvement to come because she's done it so easily.
How does P stand for
improvement? That's what I potential.
Take it back with time form. They started in the 1700s or whatever they did. Anyway, I thought that the price was just too skinny now against a few horses that have put up as good ratings and in stronger races than what she's done. I thought I never really had an opinion of Shaggy going through.
Either.
And I thought he got away with a few, but he did run a decent time when he won that race at Randwick. A couple backbeating comedy. He got the favours that day, but I thought he was as good a chance as any. I thought Nashville Jack was good on debut in a good race behind Bayvart, west of Swindon, and then went to a very fast run Black Opal in Canberra. I thought he ran well there, trialled well. Open Secret, the one that Clance mentioned, I thought that she put up some good ratings and some decent runs there as well. You got the Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott filly on debut that's trialled well. I just thought that $2 is far too skinny for Naswa, who looks very promising, but looks promising for a horse that you want to take $350 about, not even money. So it is purely a price perspective.
I'd love to take $350. I don't think anyone will offer that to me.
No,
Come on, Trent, put up a price, please.
Well,
On the
whatever the
exchange,
price, we can put up a price, and I'll put up $220 or $230, whatever. That'll be better than market at the moment. But
Let us know when you do that, and we'll take it.
other than that, maybe we got to have another snitty on it, and we'll get it in writing this time.
Yes.
I didn't love that argument, Lamb. To be honest, I thought there was holes in that argument.
It sounded like he just was saying it for the sake of saying it.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like that Shaggy peak figure is one that you have to be worried about. But then I watched the trials this time in, and if that horse had been flying at the trials and really coming in hot to this race and looking to win, I would have been a bit cautious, but the trials were nothing to get too worried about.
Oh, I totally agree. I didn't love the trials from Shaggy, and as you mentioned, Trent got away with a few races leading early. There's a bit of speed in this race, obviously, but I wanted to be against Shaggy. I'm laying Shaggy. Didn't love that trial. No issue at the 1100 metres last campaign, but that was third up. Now I've got to do it first up off one trial in the last 6 weeks. And that was an 800 metre trial. So that's a concern for me. Barrier 1 might be a bit of a concern for me as well. So I'm against Shaggy here. It's a bit of a soft hamburger, but that's going to be my hamburger. I'm with Naswa. Fast out, fast home. Second fastest final 200 metres of the day. Hard held under absolutely no pressure at all late. I love the win. Trials prior were fantastic. Stacks up. You mentioned Nashville Jack trialled well. I disagree, Trent. I thought it was a pretty plain trial. Changed legs late in the trial and didn't find. I hate when I see that. So I'm against Nashville Jack as well. And I think Naswa can kick us off and start the day with a winner, Liam. So let's go.
Yep, very keen, mate.
Let's head to another couple of races. Race 5 on the day. And I'll throw to you, Liam, here. I know you had a very brief look here, but I think Miles, when we chat to him later in the show, might have an opinion on this race. But we've got a short price favourite here.
Yeah, I had a really good look at this race and was, before the market actually came up, I was really keen to find O Diamond Lil in this race. Ended up having it priced somewhere around the $2.50 mark and thought, yep, we might have a proper go at this. I think Abalor will look to find the front and lead as it did last start. O Diamond Lil probably has to sit outside, and Uzziah one further back, who's actually has put up good ratings in the past, but is struggling to find them currently. Green Shadows was very unlucky last start back in the field. I think there's improvement to come with that horse. But then the market came out and O Diamond Lil was $2.15, and that's just far too short for my liking. I couldn't possibly dive in at that price, and it sort of, I'd be looking towards others like Green Shadows and Arbalor at their prices rather than diving into O Diamond Lil at the shorts.
Now, both of you, I'll start with you, Trent. Abalor, real spike in performance and rating last start from my stuff. Back from 800 metres, so that's, you mentioned probably leads and probably has the speed to lead, but back in trips, an interesting one, and obviously O Diamond Lil has speed again. But how do you treat horses, Trent, with a peak one-off rating? And we saw that with, we're talking about Melbourne before, with a couple of horses as well. How do you go about treating horses like that?
I think it is case to case. If there's a reason for it, and you can, especially with lightly raced horses, say you get a 2-year-old that's stepping to a mile for the first time or something like that, and it improves its rating, or they were riding it back and they've suddenly gone forward and it improves. Then you go, okay, well, maybe there's a reason for that, and they're going to keep doing that. With this horse, it's pretty fairly exposed. You know, it's had a number of starts. It's always been an on-speed kind of horse. It was thumped by a Diamond Lil a couple back. I'm looking at this form as well. So, like, it was well behind it. And then, like you said, last start we've got it kind of running to its peak that it's run sometime last year as well. But it's nothing special, and I would think coming back in trip maybe is a bit of a query for it as well. So I would be thinking that it regresses here. I agree with Liam. I think O Diamond Lil very clearly on top. I don't think there's any juice in the price though.
I'm happy to take that price. I think you guys are shying away from the obvious. There's not much in the race that can beat O Diamond Lil. She's 3 from 3 at the mile, 2 from 2 at the track and trip. She wins again for me. She just rolls forward, settles outside lead, and proves too good. So I'm happy to take that. One of my better bets on the program, race 5, number 4, Diamond Lil.
There's a horse that's in a big price there called Louisville.
Yes,
It was really poor first start, ridden back, no chance. But I'm expecting a big improvement there. Put up some really nice ratings last preparation. We'll still be on the way out. We'll get better. But $17 in early markets is too big. I wouldn't be surprised if it runs into a nice drum.
There you go. A little push for one at price there from Liam. Let's move over to race 8, and you were keen to play in this. I found it very hard. I spent way too long on this race. I didn't come up with too many bets, but yeah, you're pretty keen.
Well, yeah, I've got to have a bet. I spent too long on the race, so it was one of those.
It's a tough race.
It is. It is a really tough race, but we're getting a reasonable price to find out. I think there's plenty of pace in this. I think Black on Beauty, Simeon go forward. Shoes All Shenanigans has plenty of pace, and Storm the Ramparts is a horse that is just racing so well. You would have thought you were home on that horse last week, but just got chinned on the line by Romeo's Choice. High Dubai is the horse that I'm keen to find here, and just racing so consistently to a level that is really, it's less than half a length off the predicted winning rating of this race. So for that reason, I have to be having something on at the $9.50 we got early, out to $10.20 now this morning. So really keen to find that each way. The main bet I'll be having in this race, though, is laying the Black Cloud, with just absolutely nowhere near the ratings required to win this. It's had 2 starts this prep. Is close to 3 lengths off what's going to be required to win the race. Has drawn beautifully in 4 and has the Joe Pride polish. I understand why some people would be having this horse down at the $5 mark. Already, yes, here you go. Already drifted out to $6.50 this morning. So good to see that sort of support. But I'll be laying that horse win and place in this. I think it's just miles off him.
Liam Keane on Hide You By there and laying the Black Cloud. I wanted to find Cigar Flick again. I thought it was very good last start in behind him. Unlucky, hard held, second fastest late splits, basically under a hold, just a bit short for mine. I thought they haven't missed the price. It's a bit of that. Is that a horse that is often in the market and doesn't often win, so he's a hard horse to catch. But or she, Cigar Flick. I'm specking number 2, Ang Power, at a huge price as well. Trialled super. So trialled really well before, had a little setback and an issue. Space there next trial, and they were a bit worried about the stable, but trialled the house down again, so clearly going well. I reckon $60 chance you get a big price, and has ability, Ang Power.
Now, love that you mentioned Cigar Flick. I really like the horse, and is stacked with talent. Just always seems to have things go against her. But one that I'm keen to get your opinion on is down the bottom, Tarpaulin. Got some massive figures last preparation. Came back, trialled pretty well first up, and then failed pretty miserably in its first up performance. It's gone back to the trials and again didn't look great. What did you think of those trials?
I was going to ask you guys the same. Can you trust the horse for starters? I love the trial. I backed Tarpaulin first up. Thought it would just win. It looked unbalanced. Didn't look like it almost broke down at the 200. It wasn't a great ride, but it was very hard race to be confident of. And it's come up favourite here and could easily win this, and I wouldn't be surprised. But geez, I didn't love what I saw last start in the trial. It didn't actually fill me with confidence since then. What do you make of Tarpaulin, Trent?
The one I wanted to find, but yeah, just with these ones kind of coming back as a 3-year-old, it might just not have come back. And, I like that, the SP last start, the market support, and the weight adjust ratings on its best form have smoked these. But yeah, one that I kind of just let through to the keeper. I did actually have a good look at Ang Power, so I'm surprised you actually brought that up. I had a look at it and thought maybe 1,100 meters was too sharp for it. But if you're saying it's trialled well, I think you could do worse.
Yeah, I think you get $60. So
yep, you could do worse.
Include it in your multiples, your quaddies and whatnot as well there at a price. Trent, I'm looking forward to this segment, mates. We tasked you with horses to look out for the spring, and you've come up with 4 horses I've never heard of. What's happening here?
Well,
I was expecting Via Sistina. Who are these horses?
And that's completely boring because everyone knows that Via Sistina is going to win the Turnbull and the Cox Plate or whatever. And the other one was Autumn Glow. Everyone knows she's going to win the Epsom and the Golden Eagle. So
and Aliana and
yeah, this is boring. So I went for some that I thought.
Come up with a few benchmark 78 horses.
Oh, no, hang on, they're a bit better than that. So let me make my case. The first one is Legacy Bound for the Robbie Griffiths yard.
2-year-old gelding.
2-year-old gelding. 1-2 from 2. Went to Adelaide and won a pretty handy race there. Now, ran to a rating of 110 at Racing and Sports. Fun fact, Growing Empire won that race last year in Adelaide, rounding to 111. You've only got a few horses that have run to 110 or better in Adelaide in the past 15 years as a 2-year-old. You got Growing Empire, who obviously did some nice things. Almost won a Manikato, almost won a Everest. Sterling Grove went on to place behind Black Caviar twice and Buffering once. And Turak Toff won a Golden Rose and a Rupert Clark. They're the only 2-year-olds in Adelaide to have run a figure up to that.
Okay.
So that's what Legacy Bound's done.
One.
I love when Trent starts talking about this because it's really romance. It brings back the romance of the 90s and the early noughties and some of the stars. Yeah.
So I think he's by Ole Kirk. I reckon he'll get further. I reckon he's going to win either the Caulfield Guineas Prelude or the CS Hayes, one of those Guineas lead-ups.
Right.
And I think
he's going to win the Guineas?
Well, you might have the ones coming down from Sydney that might be a little bit better than him, but I think he's a chance. I think he's a chance, but I reckon he'll win one of those Melbourne lead-ups and be a decent chance in a Caulfield Guineas.
Legacy Bound is number 1. Number 2?
Number 2, we're going out west. Opportunistic. You might have seen this horse racing through the winter. 3-year-old in the Bob Peters colours. Michael Grantham Yard. Unbeaten in 3 starts. Gone 85, 104, 109 in 3 starts at Racing and Sports. Won the Belmont Guineas last start. Comfortably the highest rating Belmont Guineas winner on record at Racing and Sports. 4-year-olds going into its 4-year-old season in the Railway Stakes. 4-year-olds have an outstanding record. They've won 7 of the last 10. He's rated better than any of those 4-year-olds that have won the Railway Stakes at the end of their 3-year-old season, including the likes of Western Empire. So he will win the Railway Stakes by that far. It's not funny. As soon as they open betting for it, he will be $2.
There you go. Just quickly, number 3 and number 4.
Beedman, a 2-year-old, won in the mud in Queensland, won the Ken Russell, won by 8 lengths or whatever it did in very fast time.
That was an incredible win.
It was, and it absolutely destroyed Sunrays, who won its next 2 and proved again. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the market because it won's in horrible conditions, but you don't run that fast regardless of the conditions if you're not very good. In the top handful of 2-year-olds can win a Golden Rose. Oof. And the other one, this is a bit left field, but I like this horse for a specific race. Royal Supremacy won a benchmark 88 at Randwick the other day with 61.5 kilos or whatever it was, big weight. Won it in very fast time. It's an Australian bloodstock import. It's run to 111 there, has an overseas peak of 113. It's run a distant third to Calandagam one day, one of the best horses in the world at the moment. And the last 10 years winning average for the Metropolitan is 113. So he's a couple of pounds off that at the moment. And I reckon that's the race that they're going to target him at for the Kieran Maher yard. He'll get in at a lightweight. Royal Supremacy, I reckon he's the Metrop horse this year.
Love this. Put it in the vault.
How good was that? We might have to revisit these
See how
at
we
a
go.
later date. Just one from me off the trials. If Shaggy comes out and runs well, Cantiamo beat this horse in a trial, or run second to Shaggy in a trial. Keep an eye on that filly. She ran in the nursery, restricted, was short price favourite there, or $3.30, and ran a good race, but she's come back superbly, so keep an eye on her.
Trent is finding Group 1 winners for us for the spring, and Tommy's like, oh, there's this nice trial the other day. Keep that to the trial files, thanks, Tommy.
We'll follow the trial files. We'll be back with a bit of an AFL preview. I look forward to this huge round of AFL coming up. We'll be back in a second.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.